Hi again, everyone, and welcome this time to Talk 63. And this time we're talking about wanting to have a flatter tummy. Now, most women that you talk to will say, "Oh, I feel not too bad about my figure overall, but I wish I could get rid of this tummy." Now, unfortunately, as we do get a bit older, unfortunately, that's what happens, that fat does get put down in the stomach area. And that's something that we're not happy about, but it is very natural. And when you look at all the people around us, very few people, if any, do have this washboard flat stomach. It tends to be the very young girls, and I'm talking about teens, and anybody else, even tiny babies, don't have flat tummies. Why is it something that we feel we have to have? Now, okay, we don't want a great big tummy, and often we can think about it as to do with things like having perhaps bloating, things like that. Now, why does that happen? Why do we end up with a bigger tummy? Well, yes, okay, there's the fat issue, and often that can be related to just our age or the foods that we're eating, the types, and also how much are we having too many calories. It could be our state of mind. Are we stressed, etc.? And also you've got to think of our overall health. Generally, if there's ever anything wrong, it tends to show up in your digestive system first. Most people will start suffering from some kind of tummy problems, and that's normally indicative of there being something wrong somewhere else. Could be in your mind, could be in the rest of your body. So what can we do to actually help to get a slightly flatter tummy? Well, the first thing is hydrate. No surprise there. I know it's something I'm always talking about, but if you want your system to work efficiently and effectively, then what you need to do is drink plenty of water. That keeps everything moving. And that brings me on to point 2, which is cleanse the system. Now, I am not suggesting for a second that we all go out and book ourselves into colonic irrigation. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but there are people who become obsessed with it and have it done all the time. You need to let your own system do its own work. You don't need to do it artificially. And one of the best ways we can do this, as I said, first of all, is by hydrating the system. But second, make sure you give yourself time to do the job properly. And by that I mean is we will actually get all the signals, right? We need to go now. But in our society where we're rushing about, doing all sorts too fast, we're always in demand. I'll go to it later. No, I haven't got time now. I'll do it some other time. And what happens is we override the signals. Now, if we do that often enough, the body almost stops registering the signals, and that's when you can get real problems. Your system starts to back up. You can become bloated, you can become constipated, not good, not comfortable, and long term, it is very unhealthy for us. So without being too indelicate, give yourselves a little bit of time and go and do the job properly. And that way, you'll actually have a good habit and your system will benefit from that. Moving on, do you ever take probiotics? Now, there are 2 schools of thought there. Some of it's absolute rubbish and others that think it's wonderful and should be taken every day. I would say the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I would say that unless you've had medical advice to take probiotics every day, I would suggest just taking them now and again. It could be if you feel you've had problems, or perhaps you've had antibiotics, something like that. Then you could try the probiotics. Perhaps take them for a week, 10 days, and see what happens. It might be that you just need that almost like a kickstart to your gut. We all have bacteria in our gut, but what we need to do is keep the healthy bacteria going because that's what keeps our gut healthy. So try the probiotics, but you don't have to take them all the time. Go for long walks. Now, obviously, exercise is good generally, but we're not looking at something that really taxes you, that you're really pushing your body for. We're talking about just a gentle walk. Just go off for a relaxing walk. You're getting some exercise. You're actually moving. We're told constantly, certainly when we get to our age, you start getting problems with joints and things. And we're constantly told, keep moving. And one of the best things you can do is just go for walks. It's relaxing, you're in the right position because you're upright and you're giving your system a chance to work, and also you're relaxing. And relaxing can really help with the whole system. So take those long walks. Another thing to avoid is chewing gum. Gum means you inhale a lot of air, and that air starts to build up in your system, and it can result in quite a big bloated tummy. Not something you want. So if you are somebody who likes gum, try if you can to leave it off for a while. Even if you don't get rid of it completely, only chew it now and again. The other thing will do the same is things like straws, drinking through straws, and also very hot drinks that you kind of blow, and you kind of then inhaling a lot of air over the top of the drink to cool it as you drink. It is not good for your tummy. Eat plenty of protein. Now, with this, what will happen is you'll feel fuller for longer, so therefore you're less likely to overeat on other things, mainly the unhealthy foods, the snacks, that kind of thing, the treats. Protein is very, very good because it lasts longer in the system. It takes longer to actually be processed out of the system. So protein's great. Consume negative calories, and in particular, I'm talking about vegetables. Eat as much raw veg as you possibly can. All that fibre is brilliant for your system, and all that chewing uses calories. Obviously, you're actually not taking in a lot of calories. So where you can, have a huge plate of veg. Try and make that, if you like, the main part of your meal. Reduce sugar. Sugar is not good for our systems. It can cause all sorts of problems. And one of the biggest problems is it's addictive. Same as salt. If you have too much in the way of sugar, then what you'll find is you crave more of exactly the same thing. If you eat too many sugary products, you will, if nothing else, take in too many calories, and we don't want that. And sugary is of no benefit to us whatsoever. It gives us instant energy, but we need to get our energy in another way, as with the protein, which is, if you like, slower. If you can, reduce your stress and sleep regularly. Now, that's very easy for me to sit here and say. It is not always easy to do. We all have stresses in our lives, and we can't help, in a way, how we react to them. But the best way to deal with stress is look at that stress and work out, is it actually something you're stressing about that you can do nothing about? If so, what's the point in stressing? If there's something you can do something about, then what is it you can do? Can you do something to actually solve the problem? Well, the best things you can do is talk to somebody. It may be that you prefer to talk to somebody you don't know very well, but open up. It's the old, a problem shared is a problem halved. And if you can talk about your problems, it will really help to reduce the stress. For some reason, we are quite bad at communication. Women are better than men, but try and talk about your problems. And with sleep, regularity is the key. Don't have late nights, early mornings, that kind of thing, burning the candle at both ends. If you can, have a regular pattern. And also, we've talked about this in detail before, things like making sure the lights are going low. You have a nice process before you go to bed of just slowing down and doing things that will make you feel calm before you go to bed. And if you feel that you're not going to sleep, and often we do, we lie there, the minute you hit the pillow, your eyes go bing and your brain starts. There's the old thing of writing it out on a piece of paper, but also don't get obsessed about sleeping. Try and think in terms of, I'm lying here and my body is resting. And if you're happy with that, hopefully sleep will come and you'll feel much better. Eat more high fibre if you can. Again, it's mainly raw foods where you possibly can. Avoid things like processed foods. They're not good for the system. They're full of salt, and by their very nature, just being processed, most of the goodness has been taken out of them. So all you're getting is the bad stuff. I'm talking about things like sausages and bacon and all the Italian meats, that kind of thing. So if you can, avoid those. Another thing to avoid, sorry about this, is too much alcohol. A little, absolutely fine. We all enjoy a drink now and again, and there's nothing like sitting there on a nice summer's evening with a sundowner. Absolutely wonderful and can be very good for us. But if you're then having a second, a third and a fourth sundowner, think, well, I might as well finish the bottle. If you're doing that on a regular basis, it really isn't good for you. And the last thing, which is the easiest thing you can do, is check your posture. Most people have developed this slump. We do it all the time. If you're relaxing, people think, well, they have to kind of slump in a chair. And that isn't relaxing necessarily at all. So always, if you can think it, pull your tummy in and tilt your pelvis up towards your chin. And by keeping your posture upright, you really are pulling your tummy in. You will look a lot slimmer. You're aligning your body beautifully because you're straightening it. Your digestive system will work better and you'll look so much better. So something as easy as just your posture we can do, and that one will work instantly. So go for that one first, but watch a few of those other points and hopefully you will notice a change. You might not get the washboard stomach that you crave, but hopefully your stomach will be a little flatter than it has been. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.